Sometimes it's kind of hard to be appreciative of what we have when we're focused on what more there is, or like the future, or comparing ourselves to somebody else and wanting better for ourselves and seeing how now is not enough. And in the past, when I've done that, or when I do that, I can feel very frustrated and belittle like what I do have. I may end up thinking maybe where I live is not enough, or my body's not enough, or like my work is not enough, or the opportunities I have are not enough. And so when I do that, when I have done that in the past, I have ended up kind of harming what I did have at that time. Maybe for example, when I was younger, I may have had like some job opportunities, or I had some jobs, and maybe in those jobs I did not like the work as much, and I sort of belittled it instead of realizing what opportunities were in there and what blessings were there. And as a result, I either left the job early, or I kind of didn't do my best as I could have. And so what I've realized is that it's much better to really just appreciate what we do have at this moment, and to see everything as a blessing and a gift from God or from the universe, and also realizing that things could be so much worse than what they are now. Instead of feeling entitled to better or being upset that things are not better, when we really do this and appreciate what we do have, one, we take care of what we have better, our body, our relationships, our belonging, our world, and that allows us to have a better life and more joy in our lives. And two, we get to enjoy our life even more in those moments now. Now we can already have the happiness that we are expecting to have when things are so much better. And so when I compare the two versions of living, version A, if I'm complaining and comparing and belittling things, even when things do get better, I still won't be happy because I'll still be complaining, comparing, belittling. But if I'm grateful and satisfied, I can build more of the life I want now, and I can do it more in the long term as well. Like no matter where I am, I can be happy and at peace. I don't always have to be searching for something different or something better. And so for this painting, I want to share with you the process or some of the thinking that led up to the final painting. I was kind of comparing maybe having the painting broken up into the distant past, the distant future, and the now, which is the closest to us in our hands, and to see the beauty of it all, to see the beauty of our now, and then the beauty of our past and even the future. So some initial ideas were like having this sort of line that represents our life, where we go through random things, not random things, but like we go through times that maybe are good, maybe are bad, maybe are just don't seem to be making progress, but all along the while, we can see the flowers that are there, the blessings that are on our path, wherever we are. So I started with that, and then I just tried some different shapes, and then I thought, okay, let's try and make it a little simpler. And then I came up with this idea of having some sort of yellow orb or yellow glow around the flowers, because that would feel a little bit more like magical or holy. And then in the next one, I started to explore maybe creating perspective, or like communicating this idea of the past and then the future, the distant future, like this. And then eventually I started to think about, I want to remember that I have all these blessings that are in my life now and supporting me. And so I started to move towards turning these little orbs into little orbs from the flowers into little balls that represent either the sacrifices or the efforts that we've made ourselves, or that our ancestors have made for us, or even the contributions from people around us. All these things that help us to soar. And so here I was exploring the arrangement of arranging it in like an eagle shape or a bird shape. And with this idea, I was trying to remember that all we have, all that we do have, none of it was free. Everything was worked for, sacrificed by ourselves or somebody before us. And because of that, we should really appreciate what we do have and truly utilize it well. One of the things I remember when I was younger is that, for example, when I had surgery a few years ago, I was in a lot of pain and suffering, and I was just wishing for a better quality of health so that I could feel much better. And once I eventually healed, I wanted to remember that how bad things were before, so that I can always be grateful for things now. And something I do sometimes too is when I see what's going on in the world, I recognize that I'm very blessed with what I have now and the quality of life I have now in comparison to what's going on in the world. So continuing on with exploring the visualization, the next part, I explored next a little dandelion, because the idea of making a wish. And from here I put this idea of having our hearts, which represents us, surrounded by all these orbs. But then I realized I didn't really like this top-down relationship. I'd rather communicate this idea that everything is equal. So then I placed it in the middle and having them kind of go around. And yeah, I kept on. And then so I was exploring these other versions of the ideas where maybe the orbs are helping us to grow like a plant, or to help propelling us like a rocket or a comet. But I felt that the vibe I really wanted for this painting would be more of a calm, loving, peaceful walk on the sidewalk or laying in bed and just realizing all the blessings in our lives and that support me and are around me. So I went with this approach that was a little bit more calm and surrounding the heart. And so next I will show you the painting. This is one of the palettes. This is the second palette. Whoops. There we are. With this painting, I want to remind myself of all the blessings, all the blessings I have in my life. And so this heart represents me, or can represent you, and all of these little stars or orbs are blessings that surround us. And they can be the blessings that we have worked for, the blessings that our parents or our ancestors worked for, or the people before us and the people around us. But with this painting, the thing to remember is just that we are surrounded by blessings, and to remember to look for them and to remember them. Especially when things can be tough or things don't work out the way that we want. That no matter where we are truly blessed. And there's so many blessings around us. We just need to look for them. Alrighty. Have a wonderful day.